Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc from North America. Another fun-filled week. The Fed speaks to this week. We'll have Mr. Powell telling us about this, that, and the other thing. I think we have an inflation number kicking out this week, too, at the same time. And that's always an entertaining thing. We all know that inflation is, at this point, very transitory. And we know that we're more towards the end of tightening and more closer to relaxing. And that's part of the issue. Excuse me. But one of the problems is that the markets are not able to... they can't do it today. They want it today. They want it now, and they don't want to wait for 2 months or 3 months. And the logic really is, on Wall Street, is they would like to see 3 months. Let me take something for this little tingle in the throat here. Let me take a sip of water. So on Wall Street, what they really want is they want to see 3 months of steady inflation, like not increasing anymore and starting to dip. And then they would feel more comfortable. And any other reaction to that seems to be, I guess you could say, irresponsible. I guess that's the best way to describe it, irresponsible. In other words, we're just wrong. But that's where we are. This is Doc. What we do is we look at the markets through an excuse me, still battling a little cough here. An algorithm. We're always looking at the markets through the eye. Oh, let's see, we didn't get this up there yet, did we? Okay, let's get that going. And so what we do is we look at the charts through an algorithm. We've been doing that for almost 45 years now. And you can see here, this is the dollar index we have up there, and it shows you that it's jumped into the buy a couple days ago. And it closed in a weekly sell. It's been in that weekly sell now for 5 weeks. So we're getting closer to I think was the 10th on Monday. No, that's good. That seems to be update. That's good. So it closed in a weekly sell last week, and tomorrow we'll have an idea of how it's going into the buy or not buy. Now we can throw it up on another chart we have here to get a little flavor to it. But what we do is we look at stocks and currencies, and we look at commodities, be it gold or corn or silver or soybeans or cocoa or cattle. We look at all these different things. Euro, British pound. We'll look at all kinds of pairs trades here, and we look through the eyes of a very accurate algorithm. Some may say, why do you share it? I just share the results. And so it's very entertaining, and it's very easy to do, because if those who've been watching us here for a decade realize how easy it is for us to predict the general direction of a market and be consistent about 8.6 out of 10 times. And at the same time, we open the door for anybody to challenge the algorithm and say, show us. Does it do better than MACD, or does it do better than a 50-day moving average, or does it do better than a stochastic, or in other words, is it better than parabolics? We're always willing to look at the markets in an honest way, because that's the only way you can look at the markets, is in an honest way. And so that's what we do here. We look at the markets in an algorithmic, unbiased way. And I ramble about biased things, like how Wall Street thinks, since I worked on Wall Street, and how the hedge fund industry treats it, since I've worked in a hedge fund. And it's fun. We have a good time here. So welcome to join in. Welcome to throw something on the chat line, like NVDA or Euro or gold, or oil, or whatever you want to look at, and we'll gladly stop what we're doing and we'll look at it. because we're just having fun here. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Fun, fun, fun. All right. So you can see up there, I just threw up the dollar index. I have a rhythm I go through until someone asks me a question, and then we stop what we're doing and we get involved. And whatever anybody wants to see. When Janos is here, he always seems to go after about 5 or 6 major stocks. Or a stock indice, that type of thing. But you're welcome to look at at anything. If we can get it on the screen here, we'll get it on the screen. I saw something this morning, speaking of which. I saw, was it the Aramco, Saudi Aramco. And I saw a stock symbol for it. And I guess they just floated more stock in it. And it really caught my eye. And I said to myself then, I said, I should put that on the beta platform that we have, which you're looking at. That's our beta platform. And we offer that for free for people to subscribe to it for a couple weeks for free to get a flavor of our work. And even like you can use it for a month if you'd like. But I saw the Aramco one on there, and I thought, wow, I'd like to follow that, because was it 222? There it is, Aramco SR. I think that's really cool, and I think I'd like to get that on the beta. So I'm going to try to put that on the beta right now because I was very curious about it, and it's in the front of my mind until someone asked me a question. So I thought, I should put that on there. I want to see how that matches up to oil. Does that stock go up and down with oil? That would be really cool if it does. It would be very positive. So let's try that. Let me just stick that up on there. Like I said, I'm really enthralled. Anytime I can find something that I know is a global product, I love it since this is a global webinar. And I love, getting those things up on the charts and looking to see how they function and if they're good or bad or in between. It's like kind of neat. There we are. And save. There we go. Now let's see if this will jump up on the screen. This will be really cool. I mean, the dollar index is okay, but it's boring. And we're really trapped until the election into this channel of going here, but going there, and then back to here, and then up back to there. And it just seems to stay inside a channel range. There we go. There it is. Let's see what it looks like. Nice. Very nice. Looks very liquid. It's been in a weekly sell now, like for a whole 10 weeks. That's the bottom chart right there. This is the daily chart right here. Very consistent. Look at that. It was going down, 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 down for 3 weeks. And then went into a buy right there, and you had some upside action. Then you went back into the sell on the 26th right there. And it rode its way down. That's interesting there. That the third, they gave it a pop. And then rolled right back over again. And we have rules here about how to read these things. And one obviously is that you can play the short side very easily, as long as we're in weekly sells. Down here, if a daily goes into a sell, you play it, and vice versa. So in other words, with that daily buy there, you would not have gotten long in there. You might have taken some profits from the last short from here to there, but you would definitely not get long. And in this case here, you can see on Friday, it closed in a buy. See that on the 9th. And it's in a weekly sell, so you wouldn't be short. And they popped it up. And now they're trying to roll over again. We'll see how they treat it today. And that is Aramco. I thought that was really neat to see. All right. From there, we will jump back over to the currencies because we mainly do currencies here, in the beginning. And then we drift our way into anything else. But again, we have a lot of fun here. So we're very happy to look at anything, really. But we start off with the dollar. We start off with the euro and the cable and so forth. And so let's get that over onto the other platform just so you can see where it is this week starting off. And there it is. That's Dookie Day week. That's what is that? That's the euro right there. But let's get over to the dollar index. I did look at it this morning once because we're switched months because it's a switching contracts. We've switched contracts because the June contract is basically done, and now we are looking at the September contract. You see here, did that pop just like right there? Doing the same thing. Did that pop up from there to there, and then what happens is that it's trying. It's been in that weekly sell, so you can't take it too serious. I cannot open that chat on YouTube. Okay, let's try this. Let's help Robin out. Here we come, Robin. Like that. Copy. There we are. Let's send that over to him. See if that'll help. There we go. All right, there we go. No, I'm not. I'm in, but without the chat. Sign in. There we are. We do technical analysis here too. Technical support. Sign out, then sign in. As it goes, we do believe in a few of the classics, and that is when you have a problem with any type of software, my first inclination is to turn it off and then turn it back on again so it resets itself to its default. So that would be a good thing to do. Sign out, then sign in. Sign in. There we are. All right. From there, let's take a look at the euro. Let's put the euro in there. Let's see how that looks. You can see the pressure there. There's a euro falling down again today because interest rates are basically flat. Actually, in the States here, interest rates have been rising again, but not anything too dramatic. But they are rising, and so that really disturbs, the carry trades and so forth. So they have to adjust. And then on the other side of it is you have some real political changes going on in the European Union, which to me would be positive because they're thinking about capitalism, trying to move away from the what I would call soft Soviet Union policies. In other words, the Soviet Union is gone, but they try to emulate some of the policies of the Soviet Union in a socialist form, thinking that they can do a cross between crony capitalism and socialism, and they don't work. It's like taking two different sized tires and putting it on some type of cart or vehicle, and it goes sideways or leans over too much, and people don't understand why it's not working. They don't work together, socialism and capitalism. Capitalism is obviously more productive, and socialism is less productive. So it's like push pull. You go nowhere. All right, and you don't want to take socialism because then it's just pull away from physical success. You got to have some success. You have to have some growth. If you don't have growth, you don't grow. It's simplistic things, but unfortunately, sometimes people get very confused. All right, on to right there. There's your euro situation. See it? There's the euro breaking down. Seeing it, it's a third day in a sell. No, actually we had a green and a red, so it's a second day in a sell. You see the weekly is very close to breaking underneath. So there's some real pressure there. It has been that way for a while, where the euro seems to be trapped inside some type of what would you call it? Some type of envelope. And then when we look at it on this platform, and we kind of squeeze it so you can see further out, you see it's really been kind of trapped in this zone for a while, back and forth. Gets up a little bit higher and then fails. And it's been that way for a while. You see it there bouncing around. That's basically, when is that? That is October of last year. So, it runs up a little bit when they were fantasizing. The Federal Reserve said, hey, we're going to cut rates 7 times. And they said, good, do it tomorrow. And then they realized it's not happening. And here we are in February. It still hasn't happened. And then here we are in March. It still hasn't happened. And they said, guess what? We're cutting rates. Because it's transitory, of course. And the rate cut transitory situation failed again. And just like the inflation transitory thing. And so, it's all of that Bidenomics that doesn't do too good a job about the economies and inflation. But so then you see this back and fill again. When this is going down, it's losing against the dollar. When it's going up, it's gaining. Then Mr. Powell comes out again in late March, I guess it is. And he says, guess what? We're going to cut. And we're going to cut very, very soon. And so money comes running in again saying, ooh, let's buy those bonds and bills and, make some fast money out of it. And then they don't cut again. And so it keeps on rolling along the same situation over and over again. And Mr. Powell should just basically be honest with everybody and say, look, interest rates are transitory. They are at their highs now. And chances are they're going to be much more lower than here in the future, because that's what transitory represents. They're fleeting. They may be, but then they may not be here anymore. So that is our view of it all. And let's see, just check that chat line again, make sure everything's there. Hey, Robin, you get in there or what? Did you turn it off and turn it on again? Don't see you saying hi, so I imagine not. I'll say hi and see what happens. I got hi in there. Cool. All right. What would I like to see next? I guess what we'll do is oh, there you are. Yes, that's the classic, isn't it? You turn it on and then turn it off. I just saw your message, and then it just disappeared again. It's fleeting. It's transitory also. It's like Mr. Powell. It's transitory. Oh, my God. All right, let's take a look at the British pound against the dollar. Right there. Same situation, a couple days in the sell now. Let's grab one of these reds and just move it over there. Now you can see here the weekly compared to the euro, it's still relatively firm here, playing with the top part of the manifold. That's that yellow line, and that's the yellow line. We call those our non-linear time manifolds. But when you go back to the euro, you can see there, it is trying to break the zero line right there, trying to get towards the bear side of things. Surprise, surprise, surprise. All right, and then from there, we slip over to talk about transitory. The Swiss are the true inflation fighters. They've figured it out, and they've been doing a good job about it. And you can see here it's been in a weekly sell since here. And what do we got going on here? We got daily sells since there. That's why we throw a line in there just to show you. Right there. It went into the sell there. And then obviously that's a buy. It went into the buy there on Friday. So we go like that. And then we turn around and make a green color. So at least if you can't read the charts that clearly, we put those in there to help you. Like this is like a remedial trading thing sometimes. It's kind of cool. We can take it in every direction. We can go remedial. We can go sophisticated. We can talk hedge fund. We can talk about esoteric concepts of how to buy or sell. what a straddle is and options. We do it all here. We love it. It's fun, 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 fun. All right, and then so you can see here we're just stalled now, and when this bounces up, it's a loss for the Swiss. So in other words, as it was falling down from here, and it said it's going to go down, and it went down, of course. You see it in the math. That's our algorithm there on a daily. You see the same thing, weekly joined in, telling you the same thing. Lots of weakness here. And in the end result, that means that it was gaining against the dollar. When it's going down, it's gaining against the dollar because this is a dollar Swiss, not a Swiss dollar pair trade. So then, from the Swiss, the true inflation fighters, we're still wondering about Mr. Powell with his commitment to inflation. It could be transitory. There's the yen. The yen has been pushing up the last couple of days. Let's grab one of these greens. Let's go scroll back and see if we can grab a green. There's a green we can steal. Right there. Where did I just put that? Didn't I just put it somewhere? Oh, there it is. I guess that's what it is. So it went into the buy there on Friday. Just holding up a little bit there. Today, you can see we went into the weekly buy, and the first inclination as we start the week off was a dip down, but still in that weekly buy. So don't be too nervous about that. But we are surprised that looks like we're trying to make another move to the 160 area. They have been putting in incredible amounts of money to try to stabilize their currency. Not doing too good a job. They were trying to lock it into the 152 area. That's over here. Over this area here. And you can see what happens. They put some money in. Then it obviously did not do well. In April, it built this big base in here. And then zoom, they took it up to the 160s. And then knocked it down. And now it's inching its way back up again. The country is they're having lots of issues. The LDP, which has been in power forever and ever, that's the Liberal Democrat Party, has had many financial embarrassments, and so the currency has gone from 105, 110 through their embarrassments up to 160, which is very, very tenacious to have your currency go almost 50% up in cost. It's like, ow, 50%. And speaking about 50%, let's take a look at the Turkish lira. There's the Turkish lira right there. It has... And so you can see here, it's been hanging around in this area like that. Yep. It's trying to calm down the Turkish lira. We've been locked in this, say, 33 or say 34 area since March now. I'll show you. This is the last new plateau they've done. And let's hope it stays like that for another 6 months or a year, helping out the Turkish people to be able to have a currency that's calmed down on some level. I mean, it's going all ruble on us, it's just trading, just in a real tough looking situation. I wonder if we have the ruble. We haven't looked at the currency. It will not be named. We haven't looked at that currency in a long while. We had it on the beta. We used to have it on here, but I don't think it's on here anymore. The ruble is just because it's just not trading everywhere anymore. No, it's not on there anymore. So, unfortunately, the Turkish lira is going the way of the ruble. Real sloppy, incredible inflation, not holding value, things like that. All right. From there, we go over to the South African rand. I have not really heard anything particular about it of the last couple like the last few days, I didn't pay attention. We usually look at the metals market through this, but with the politics that's going on down there, I don't know if they've even come up with a government yet. They probably have a few more days. They had elections, I guess, about 10 days ago. So I believe they have 15 days to form a government, or then I'm not sure what they do next. If they fail, are they forced to do another election? All right, so we got here the election efforts to reset complicate efforts. Let's see. Let's see if we can find out what's going on down there. What is this? Okay, here we go. I mean, obviously the currency is trying to tell us that there is some real issues there. Not there. We just know that the DA party is second now. ANC is almost 40% of the country. DA is 22% of the party. Of the size of the party. It's half the size of the ANC. A little less than half the size or a little bit more than half the size. And then after that, the third was another former ANC member and former president, Zuma, and he's got 15%. So they're trying to figure out how to form a government. Power struggle within ANC, it's going back and forth. They have not decided. Who's got temporary? The party. Zuma opted for temporary exile in Russia over the risk of returning to jail at home. So he has 15%. I mean, the country has about a 33% haircut in cost. Let's see. This history makes it unlikely that the DA can ever attract more than a third of the vote, but will always need to form a grand coalition. And obviously, the only one they could do it was the ANC, because the other two are communist. And so the DA is a capitalist and believes in free markets, free people, and all that other stuff, and free, speech. So I'm not seeing anything yet, and I guess they're going to stay trapped like this for a little bit longer. Let's see. Form one more look here. Form new government. Let's see what that says. Let's see. Let's see if we have a short-term story here. Last 2 days, South Africa will opposition accept invite. Let's see. South African ANC to form unity government says that's probably why the currency is the way it is. They say they're going to form they're going to form some type of unity government. The question is, if they do it with the DA, the currency will probably perform better. And if they don't do it with the DA, more than likely the South African ANC leader has announced plans to invite other political, we already know that part. Let's see. So far, there's no luck. And so it's very hard to use this particular tool because of like I said, we identified about a 33% haircut in the African currency at this point, the South African currency, which means there's a premium on it, which means that it's really, I guess you could say it's undervalued because of the production of gold and silver that they have, and it's kind of trapped. At the same time, you can see its upwardly direction tells us that there are issues, right? You see that move up like that. Now we slide over to gold and say, okay, how does that affect gold? And this is how it affects gold, right there. Gold has taken that nice big dive down. Let's fix that. I guess we may have to fix that, but let's just see if we can just put another thing in there like that. Not there. Let's try one more time. Well, not there again. Let's try one more time just to get today's in there. There it is right there. I was hoping that would straighten it out, but this is missing the high. The high was way up here in the 2400 area. So, but it's still in a sell. It's not reflecting today very well. Let's put default in there. Maybe that'll do it. Let's see if that does it. There they go. So you can see here it's bouncing up a little bit today. It's been in a sell for 2 days. It's been in a weekly sell for 4 weeks now. This started 4 weeks. So the pressure on the gold, and then when we look at South African Rand, we go, oh yeah, that makes sense, because you can see the currency itself on that upwardly projection, which is bearish for gold. We have the same thing going on in silver too. Silver is having that same issue right there, where it cannot get out of its own way. Again, that's messed up. Let me fix that high, and we'll straighten that out. Let's put it up over here. Let's see what we can do on this. There we go. And go like that. And you can see it on our beta platform. Right there. Where it's still not showing it correctly, even on the beta. That is, what is that? That is, let's see what that is exactly. Right there. We're going to have a new beta in the next, I thought we were going to have it over the weekend. Unknown caller. So, at this point, silver's doing the same poor thing. No, that's the euro. Silver. There we go. And silver's doing the same poor thing. It's being pushed down. You can see that big drop there. And then you can see at the same time, it's trying to do a little pop-up. So it's been in the sell for 2 days. And that pressure is on it there just the same. Are we showing that? Yes, we are. And so until they can clarify what they're doing government-wise in South Africa, this tool that we use looking at South African Rand, it'll give us some insight, but nowhere near as accurate as it used to be. Like I said, there's an actual 33% premium on the currency at this point. That really hurts. So, in other words, it's an inflationary thing, just like the Turkish lira. All right, or the Japanese yen. It's going up almost 50% over the last year and change. From there, we'll go over to copper. There it is right there. Copper is trying to lift up. You can see that there. It was in a sell. It's been pushing down. And I'm not really sure of which contract they're reflecting here. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's take a look at. So we're looking at 455. Let's put it up over here. And yeah. So 455. So it's actually right now I have it at 452. So copper's, it's been in that sell for. Let's go back to that. It's been in a sell for a bunch of weeks. Tried to get into the buy. Let's fix that again right there. Tried to get into the buy on Friday. I guess it is right there. No, that's Thursday. We had that same thing here. I'll just show it to you. So there's Thursday and there's Friday. There's Friday right there. Is that Friday? That is Friday. That's Thursday. So it was in a buy for a couple days there. and now it's rolled over again on, I guess what you say is on Friday. It rolled over from Wednesday and Thursday having strength. That's why we have that sell going on right there. And now we're doing a little challenge on the upside. You can see that there. And we're seeing the same thing on, let's put it up over here on the beta. It's got on Friday it threw itself in the buy, and it's still in there today. It's still trying to, climb. And that's the copper. Let's see. All right. From there, we look at the platinum, which seems to be the real canary in the coal mine. In other words, it seems to be the real leader. Platinum started to roll over way ahead of, there it is right there, platinum. It rolled over before the elections, knowing that it was going to be a very confusing thing down there in South Africa. And sure enough, it has been. We had that selling thing going on. I had it selling back here. And now we have pierced the weekly sell. Interesting. Let's put that in there. That's not obviously that's not a bullish sign for metals complex. That weakness always gives us that leery, watch out, what's coming next type of attitude about it all. All right. That completes the metals. If you want to look through it again or any of that nature, we will flirt with it again. We have no problem trying to fix any of these things. And then let's jump into where do we go from there? We go with let's find it right there. We go into the energy sector, which I was really happy to find that new stock indice. I'd heard about it. It's been around for over 2 years now, or 3 years. They floated Aramco, Saudi Aramco, for almost $1 trillion or something like that. And then they just sold $100 billion worth of stock more in it. So, they're basically anticipating where the value of oil will go down, and this way at least they've gotten some good price out of it. I want to go back to that thing. I want to look at it even closer. Well, first of all, we'll throw crude oil. No. We'll throw crude oil up on this, and there's crude. You can see it, and it's been doing that. Oh, you're not seeing that. Let's do this. There is the crude oil. And it's doing that bounce thing going on for like the last 3 days. It's trying to lift back up again. You can see we're in a weekly sell and a daily buy. And so it's a neutral position. And then we go over to the beta. Right there. And so at this point in time, you can see here, it's been in a buy for a few days. Weekly sell still, though. Still stuck in that situation of weekly sell. Crude oil in general, to me, I know that, it's very important to get that down and help knock the inflation down. So they're really taking oil from the reserves. And then we'll go look at it here. You can see Aramco is up in the 30.5 area, and we've gone as low as 28. That's in that same time period, in April 14th to June 9th, we go take a look at crude oil. Why don't we do this? We'll leave that up on that one, and then we'll put crude oil and look at it on the same time period. And back to April, what was that? April 19th, right? 14th, April 14th. So April 14th, crude oil was at basically 84 to 86. It was, let's say, $85. And now it's traded as low as $72. So it's a $13 drop. This has had a almost a $2 drop on the Aramco, and I guess if you multiplied it by 3, it would be a $6 drop, which still is not catching up to the way the oil has dropped. But moving in the same direction. The charts look relatively the same. There's not a lot of surprise in one from the other. In other words, one's not going up and the other one going down. So I would say that that's telling us how much pressure we're really seeing. Not only the fact that, not counting that the weekly is in a weekly sell now for 8 weeks. So it's pretty much almost matching perfectly with, the beta and showing you that pressure. From there, we'll go over to Brent. Let's see what Brent's up to this morning. There it is. And there's Brent. You can see that same thing. A little firm for the last couple of days, just like West Texas Intermediate. This is going on a 4th day. Is it a 4th day? No, 3rd day. And you can see here the weekly, doing the same thing. Doing this downwardly draft, just like the West Texas. So it's more of a dead cat bounce. That's what that is. Dead cat bounce. That's a Wall Street term. And then from there, we'll go look at nat gas. Right there. There's natural gas. It's been riding very firm up. We've gone from a 1.6 a cubic to up to almost $3 a cubic right there. They're pushing, natural gas. Unfortunately, we thought that, we would see, usually in going into July, or, somewhere around late June, early July, usually you see the oil sector move back up to start preparing for the fall. But not this time. They started doing this back in April. They took it up from 1.6 to now up to almost 3. And that's kind of a little early for it all. I guess that tells us how concerned they are about the inventory itself. Yeah, so, you can see it here on the main platform, our main platform. Let's show it to you. Same way as it is on the beta, just ripping towards new highs from that high. And you see the same thing right here. Actually, what's interesting is that was the other month contract. Now we're back with the new front month contract, and it's not reflected in the beta. Beta just shows you that it stalled out underneath the 3. But then back, no more than 3 weeks ago, there was another contract there. And now we are looking at the, which contract are we looking at now? We're looking at the July contract, which expires like in 2 weeks. It expires in the late part of June. So makes it's very odd oil, because you're talking about, or not oil in particular, but just everything in that sector, the energy sector. Oil, natural gas, petrol, fuel for the cars, and the diesel for the airplanes and the trucks. So it makes it very tough. And so they have to take weeks of delivery process to get it figured out, and that makes it expire much earlier. It does. Let's see. All right. So from there, we go over to Spain. And in Spain, there is an energy company that we can follow on the stock side, and it gives us great insight. Unfortunately, it's refused to back off. We've been hovering in this area in the high 23s and 24s for a while now, and we've now moved up into the 25s, and today they're making a big spike up there. You can see that right there. And at the same time, the weeklies drifted and drifted and drifted, and it's right on the edge. Let's see if we do this again. There we are. You see it's just drifting underneath and trying to get into a weekly sell. It got into the weekly sell last week, and we'll see, even with it, well, since it's been parked in the 24 area, it's gotten very comfortable in there. Unfortunately, it would be great, actually, if that weekly sell holds up. I'd like to see some dailies with that, But so far, they don't seem to be relaxing their purchasing of the product. They're not backing off. They seem to be like everybody else, reaching for it. So that makes it very complicated. And so that weekly sell may give us some insight to change, but I don't know. I follow the math, so we'll follow it. If it's going to go into a weekly sell like it did there, then obviously we see some relief in the cost of energy in Europe. And I hope that does. But I'd like to see the daily not give us that big spike the way it did right there. That's what makes me leery, is it's jumped into the daily buy. And so, from daily buys, sometimes it can go into weekly buys. In this case here, because of this product's sideways trend now for over a month, locked in a very tight range, it didn't take much to try to drive it into the weekly sell, and we'll see how they treat that. I mean, it could be, it could be a hesitation where we're in. The daily buy is telling us not to be short at the moment. When, geez, it was long for weeks and weeks and weeks and months. Now all of a sudden we've gone into the sell, and everybody's usually like, "Oh, good, we can sell it." But look at the daily; they've reached for that daily, which makes me very leery. And we call that a neutral position, not a bearish position. It's a neutral. In other words, it's in a weekly sell and a daily buy, and it's like, woo, be careful. In other words, it's not giving you a clean direction. Sometimes traders, you want to be long, sometimes you want to be short, and sometimes you want to be neutral, like do nothing. Don't get in trouble. Preserve what you have. All right, that cleans up our view of the energy sector. And so if no one has any particular product they want to look at, we'll start looking at where will we go to? We'll jump over to the stock indices, and we'll go right to the South Pacific. We always start there since they've already traded last night, and their day is over with. You see here, they've pushed the Nikkei into a little daily sell, and at the same time, we're still in the weekly buy. It's not letting go there. Still in the weekly buy. And nice that it's not at all-time highs. There's the all-time high back here, back in March and April. But what we are seeing is that we're seeing the stock index there backing off, being a little sloppy, but still, it's pushed itself into the daily sell, but a weekly buy. So it's kind of a neutral again. Sometimes we get stuck in that neutral situation, and there's no changing it. It just stays there. It just stays there. There we are. Let's see. My path to road to the markets. Interesting. We got the right thing there? Maybe that's it right there. There we go. All right. I'm trying to think of a title at this point. Let's see. What do we got here? More unknown callers. Unknown callers. Millington, New Jersey. Interesting. All right. What is that all about? Seeing some of the strangest things here. Let's see what we do here. We'll close this and start over again. We're trying to put our title up. We're trying to figure out what to put up as a title. And I'm getting the tablets giving me some really strange direction there. There we go. I'm going to do what Robin did. That is, shut it down and start it over again. All right, from there we'll go over to the Kospi. There's the Kospi right there. This is the South Korea stock index. See, it's been a daily buy for a couple days here now, and you can see we are in there, right there. There's your daily buy signals with those green dots, and at the same time we see it's been in a weekly sell now for 5 full weeks. So again, another one of those where the shorts have been good trades, and the longs you got to stand to the side and watch. And it just keeps on. We keep on seeming to be falling into that odd chaos of it all, you know. There we are. So from there we go over to the Taiwan index in Taipei. Same thing, 3 days in a buy right there. And matter of fact, it's not even reflecting today, so I guess maybe the holiday. Maybe they had a holiday? That's last week at this point. So we're not seeing any changes there. That was at the end of last week. That's interesting. And then from there, let's see what the Philippines reflects. There it is right there. Philippines, last night they sold it down. You can see that right there. And it pushed it into the sell. And we've been 3 weeks in a sell. So, it's that ongoing, as much as they seem to be concerned about the China situation, obviously the currency, the trading in the currencies and not the currencies, the stocks are kind of trapped towards the bottom end of the range of the last month. That's the Philippines. Did I look at Taipei? I did look at Taipei. I guess they're not. They must be off for a holiday or something like that. Let's just try looking at Taipei one more time. Nowhere is there. Let's try Taipei one more time. Yeah, they must have been closed. That's Friday. They're not reflecting today. Let's go to Shanghai. There's Shanghai. You see, that's, what is that? Looks like they may be closed too. That's Friday. They're not reflecting any action. They've been in a weekly, they closed in a weekly sell and daily sells, and they're not trading that this morning. Haven't heard anything about them being closed, but oh well. And then from there, let's see what Hong Kong's doing. Maybe that'll be open. I doubt it. No, it's closed also. There's no action in the Hong Kong. Let's go to Singapore Straits Times. See if we can find out if there's some trading there. Must be somewhat of a... Yeah, see, they sold that off today. You can see there's the weekly too. The pressure's on the downside on the daily, but on the weekly it's still in a buy. And you can see that thing has been moving up. This is the Singapore Straits Times. And they have not had any real issues. They're not worried about, obviously, the China situation. It seems like they're just very comfortable moving up. They're one of the stronger stock indices in the Pacific Rim. Let's see. And from there, we shoot over to the All Ordinaries Index. There it is right there. All Ordinaries. What's this? Okay. And you can see there, it's also lifting up, moving towards the highs. And at the same time, we are 5 days in a buy. Going on, yeah, it's 5 days in a buy. No, that's Friday. They're not reflecting the weekly. So they're not showing the trading last night on that. And you can see there's 5 full weeks in a buy. Could be now going on 6. Then from there we jump over to the Nifty 50, which has been wild. The election drove that down. They had elections too, and now they brought them all the way back up again, and we're on a second day. You can see last night or today to us, they pushed themselves into a buy on a daily basis, and you can see they're pushing them into a buy starting the week off in a weekly buy. So the all ordinaries, or in this case here, the Nifty 50 out of India is rocking and a rolling. All right, traders, since there's no questions, so we're going to get out of here. If anybody has a question, throw it up there now, because if not, we're going to go for the day, because the U.S. market's getting ready to open, and we want to be prepared for that. I guess we will have the title of today will be Inflation and interest rates act transitory. Transitory. All right, traders. I don't see any questions kicking out. So we're going to get out of here. This is Doc from North America. Catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day.